Alright, so I'm going for a test ride on the new Braaap Urban. Australian company, Chinese made bike. Testing it out through gasoline in Sydney. So give it a go. It's pretty small. Pretty upright seating position. Is it on? Is that locked now? I'm confused. There we go. Alright, so oh, haven't ridden a bike this small in a while. Whoa, positioning's a bit odd. It's quite small. Can sort of fang it a bit, I guess. It really just doesn't have much power, I don't think. Seems pretty fun though. Better adjust these mirrors because I can't see shit. It's got a very quiet exhaust, nice and punchy, but in terms of the quality, I would say it's not all that nice, to be honest. I mean, compared to my CB125, this probably has about the same amount of power, including the weight difference. So I mean, in regards to overall power, it actually has less. I think on paper they're more or less the same though. I just feel the delivery of this is a bit soft. They're all the parts are made in China, but they're assembled here. It's an interesting ride. It's they're a little bit on the pricey side, to be honest. I feel they should be a little bit cheaper than what they are. They're $4,000 Australian, which is what, $2,500 US. So cheaper than the Honda Grom, which is what it's competing with, but still a bit expensive, to be honest. I don't know whether I'd consider this. Let's see if I can split up here. I don't want to be too much of a dickhead on a small bike, but I want to go left. Indicators in a weird spot I'm not used to. What's to say? If you're looking for something that's a bit of fun and you don't want to wait for the Honda Grom to hit the Australian market, because at this point it's a big fat question mark as to when that is, I'll just note a few things. The clutch lever here is actually a little bit off, I don't know, at least for my hands. Maybe I got medium size hands, I guess. It should actually be lifted slightly higher, it feels a little bit off when I'm going to grip it. Throttle is actually quite clean. Brakes are a little bit soft, but they're consistent. So I mean, they're not actually that bad. And I mean, it's kind of one of those things, you get what you pay for. It is a Chinese made bike. It's definitely very nimble. Like it's insanely light. Quite a bit more bottom heavy than I expected. I sort of felt like it was going to be a lot more top heavy than this, but it's quite fun. Like, it's very flickable, as they say. As for the can't quite get enough power to do like a jump or something. I think it's just getting used to the power delivery. I feel like if you had it for a little while, you'd get a bit better at where its power sits, but it's very yeah, see, I can't quite get the front wheel up when I come down there, but it's quite fun. Can't really downshift on this. It's doesn't really have that kind of power. But yeah, so I guess just quickly, I mean, it looks okay. It is a little bit on the cheap side, I guess. Overall, I don't know, quality's average. It's got the front beak here. They don't always come with the beak, I've seen. What else? It's not a bad looking bike. It's just yeah, I guess it's trying to fill a certain hole in the market. The friction point on first gear is just retarded, like, yeah. It has less power than what my 125 had, like, but I mean, when you look at the specs, they're very similar spec-wise. Even weight, like, even though this one's smaller, spec-wise they're pretty similar, so yeah, come across.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It's one of those things where it will get looks. It still has that small factor. It's not tiny, but it's that exhaust. Left his indicator on the noob. When are you turning left, mate? at some point he'll be turning left, so I guess that's not that bad. As you can see, like, I mean, has so much extra space in regards to taking off from the lights though. It's not the fastest. I mean, you're still probably going to be faster than most cars. I guess one thing to note is that it does have foot pegs for the passenger. So it can technically take a passenger. Oh shit, gravel. Yeah, it can legally take one, but like, I'm sure you can see here how much space is on the back. There's not enough for, like, I'm just talking to the camera. There's not enough space for a pillion, obviously, or you wouldn't want to risk it unless you want to kill someone. Oh, a couple of cheeky backfires there. Pretty fun though, eh?
Definitely a fun bike.
Yeah. Braaap, braaap. It's definitely a bike for a menace, I guess. But in conclusion, I guess, you know, there are a lot of negatives about it, but I guess depending on what you're coming off, it's really not that bad. And it definitely has its place in a second bike. Definitely would be good as a second bike. False neutral there. It's definitely fun, but I'd say if you're getting something that you need, if you absolutely need for transport, or a first bike, I don't know if this is it, to be honest. It's really... it's a bit unreliable. There we go, the Braaap Urban. Whew.